Our story takes place in New York, focusing on a middle-class white family. Clay, an English professor, and Amanda, an account director / marketing, decided to take their kids, Archie, who's 15, and Rose, who's 13, on a week-long family vacation to unwind. As they drive through thick forest without any service or signal, they arrive at their Airbnb, the ultimate escape according to the website. The adults begin to unpack and look around the house, taking in the luxury they are about to experience as the kids excitedly begin to enjoy the pool, starting with a big splash. Soon night falls after the family has begun to settle into their new surroundings and new home. However, little do they know, back in their city, there has been a major and mysterious blackout causing many to panic. The panic reaches our family when there is a knock at the door. Clay warily opens the door to find a black elderly couple, G.H., George, and Ruth appear. They enter, explaining they are the owners of the home, while Amanda offers drink and dinner, nervously, until they agree that they can share the house for the time being. Morning comes and Amanda is awoken by Rose, who is frustrated by the lack of signal and internet in the house. While the adults wake themselves up, they try to explain the strange arrival of George and Ruth, who stay in the basement. Rose basically ignores them, demanding to go outside with someone and enjoy the pool. As she waits for someone to join her, she sees a multitude of deer gathering in the woods, an uncomfortable omen of what's to come. She doesn't say anything, and Clay decides to leave and search for answers about the blackout. However, he gets lost without help, and no one realizes. To entertain themselves, the kids, Archie and Rose, decide to venture into the woods, finding a shed and a house in the distance, wondering what they should do or if they should come back home. As the kids continue to explore and the adults enjoy the hot tub and drinks, there is an abrupt sound. The sound is so terrifying, Amanda drops to the ground, screaming in fear for herself and her children. Everyone hurries inside, Amanda trying to calm down and comfort her kids. Clay is still gone, causing her to panic. After they calm down though and clean up, Rose decides to make a cake, trying to get some sense of normalcy. However, it isn't long until Archie is sick, throwing up and has a fever of 102. Clay eventually comes back and helps put the children to sleep, cleaning up Archie. The adults begin to drink and eat as the night winds down, discussing the noise. But it isn't long until the noise comes back, not once, but twice, but 3 times, shattering the glass above them. Trying to relax, the families decide to turn in, Amanda and Clay welcoming their children into bed for better protection. They all sleep until morning, until suddenly Rose is gone. However, no one notices as they all groggily wake up. Archie, however, gets worse, his teeth beginning to fall out suddenly with no explanation. George and Clay quickly leave with Archie, hoping to find help or a hospital. GH decides to drive out to his friend Danny's house, seeking advice or answers possibly. Danny has few and tells them to go home for their safety and not to bother him. The men drive home as Amanda runs frantically around the property for Rose, Ruth also trying her best to help find Rose. Amanda screams for Rose. However, Rose is not understanding of the panic she's caused. She's out in the woods searching for the house she found the other day with Archie and stumbles upon it again. She goes inside and to find supplies. However, she gets distracted, putting on an episode of Friends to entertain herself with. The president has issued a state of emergency. Emergency broadcast systems are trying their best to alert citizens, even with the blackout and lack of service. The world seems to be falling into chaos as no one seems to have a clear answer. There's flooding, leaving many to drown, power outages causing most to die in hospitals. Most believe that this is happening from a hurricane somewhere in South Carolina, but it's still so unclear. It's only a matter of time before the chaos and madness reaches our 2 families and causes citizens to turn on each other, not even just Americans, but the world turning on each other.